Welcome to Agile in Toronto at Night, a Badass Agile show. This is where you can join me for the conversations and the ideas and people that shape the Toronto Agile scene. This week, I'm pleased to sit down with Shahin Sheidaei, owner of Elevate Change and the organizer of the Lean Agile Network and the virtual Agile community. So grab a seat, won't you? Our table just opened up. Time to settle in, unwind from the day, grab a drink, have some great chats with great people. So here he is, the man himself, Shahin Sheidaei. Shahin, how are you?
Good. How about you, Chris?
I'm great.
Long time.
It's been a very long time, and it's great to see you.
Yeah, same here.
What are you drinking tonight? What do you like to drink?
I'm drinking coffee, a decaf one.
Decaf. Good man.
Yeah.
Well, let's say cheers. Let's say cheers anyway, shall we?
Yeah, cheers.
Enjoy your coffee.
Yeah.
Now, let me know what you've been up to these past couple of weeks and months since we last met.
Yeah, I guess we didn't meet after the Agile and Beyond, which is almost a year ago.
Right.
But in the last couple of months, I guess everyone is dealing with the new norm of working from home, working remotely, getting to understand what everyone's role would be in this new norm.
Yeah.
And I was doing the same thing on my side. I'm consulting large organizations in their agile transformation.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean in this days?
Yeah, what does that mean? I'm interested to hear what that's looking like for you right now.
Right. So we were disrupted very bigly, right? Very hugely.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to respond to change over following a plan. And at that point in time, we didn't even know how to respond to change.
Mm-hmm.
So we were just reacting to whatever were coming our ways, and we were trying to learn as much as we can, so that if there is anything that we can we learn that we can apply later on, we do that. And if there is something that we learned that it was a mistake, we don't do that. So basically what I was mainly helping with, and I was I'm a big fan of looking into the data. So these days I was looking into the data of the performances, the throughput of the teams, and at the portfolio level, and then figure out what are the things that we can leverage on, and what are the things that we need to address, because there might be some situation that you can see a very good outcome is coming out of a team, but when you talk to them, everyone is miserable because they are doing these things because they didn't even have an option not to work from home, right? They had to work from home. So because of that, the dynamics of the teams changed, right? Everyone at home, like looking at a monitor, or if you are lucky, you get to see each other on Zoom calls or on other platforms, right? But those chit chats that you go to a desk and say, hey, how are you doing for like 5 minutes? Like, how was your weekend? Like, these are missing, and those connections are not there anymore. So we see some good results, some challenging results, and how we are navigating through these things if we are transforming a large organization. I'm not sure if I confuse you and your audience more than what I talked about, but
nope, not yet. I want to know what the data told you. What did the data say?
So some of the data was good, and some of the data was really good, and then we looked into that, and then we said, we need to do something about it. So the data that we looked at, immediate weeks following working from home, it showed a spike in delivery. And then we looked at the data, and it was around 50% more throughput for a team. And it was amazing. Like, imagine 50% more throughput for a team. And in my wildest dream, I couldn't imagine how much I could improve a process or flow of the team to get 50% more.
Right.
And I'm not one of those coaches that are not hands-on and don't sit with the team and talk to them. So I knew what could have contributed to that. And then the best thing to do, I always say, like to go and talk to the team. So we talked to the team and in a very safe environment, and unanimously the team, they were saying that we sacrificed our lives because we know that we are in hardship time, and we wanted our clients and customers to be able to do what they do. So the story was that some of them even working for straight days, right? To make sure that the shortcomings that this organization has from working from home does not affect their client. And it took a toll on the team, but they were able to deliver what was needed in a short time. But they were um, unanimously saying that this is not a sustainable pace.
Right.
And
The price is
that's what
the price is too high.
yeah, the price is too high. Yeah, and I'm glad that we did that. And then it's a good leadership team, and we took some actions about it, and now it's in a much better position than we were before.
So are you still plus? Are you still overproductive or more productive than you were before?
No, we get to the normal productive before this hike, but it's more than before. So, but it's not 50% more. It's a little bit more.
You had me going there for a bit. I thought you discovered like a cure for cavities. That's the best news ever.
No, I was like, yeah. The first time that I saw the numbers, I was like, these people working from home, that's the secret sauce. Like, you should just ask people to work from home, they deliver 50% more. And then I asked myself, do you really think that's the reason? And then I always like go to the team, and then we did that. So
right. Well, let me ask you, what are some of the other things that you've been up to? Where it was since we last met, we were about to go to Agile and Beyond again for 2020, and of course everything changed, so we're not going to see you there. What were you going to speak about this year?
So this year, 2 topics I'm going to speak about. One is with one of my friends. We are talking about deep systems coaching, and the other one is about powerful questions and how to use that in your daily interactions.
So I think I know what powerful questions is all about, but why don't you tell me anyway?
Yeah. So powerful question is a question that being asked from you that opens up your mind to the other possibilities that you can think of. It's not a yes or no question. It's a question that you say to yourself, oh, that was a good question. Now it makes me think. And you might, sometimes you need to pause before answering that question. So we go in detail about what the structure of the question is, what the scope of the question is, and how to use that. And you know that, but when I do this session, I always say that not all the questions should be powerful, right? It has a place to use, right? And the one tool that comes very handy with so I call it powerful questions, but I talk about this skill set that calls active listening as well, because you can't have and ask powerful questions if you not listen to the person that is talking to you.
I think a lot of people forget that.
Yes,
because we're so in our minds thinking about what smart thing are we going to say next.
Right, exactly.
So lay one of these powerful questions on me.
What else? That's my favorite one.
Oh, that's a great one. So would you use that when you ask someone, maybe, tell me about a time where you had a challenge with a teammate and you were able to solve it or something like that. And then they tell you, they give you a solution or an answer. They say, fantastic, give me another one, or what else?
Right. So typically I use it in 2 parts of the conversation. So when we are starting a coaching conversation with someone, I ask what else when I believe or when I want to explore if there is anything else that they really want to talk about, and the thing that they're bringing to the surface is not the real issue. So I try to ask that question to explore and identify the real challenge that they have. Another part of the conversation that I use what else a lot is when they come to a kind of a solution or a kind of realization that they are going to do this thing. I use what else in terms of what else can you think of? Or I rephrase that and I say, if you are saying yes to this, what are you saying no to? Just to open up their mind that they are picking up a solution and then they are going to um, eliminate some of the solution that might have um, some other benefits for them. So those are the two main parts of the conversation that I use what else.
And you can use it as simply, if you ask somebody who's clearly upset, you can say, what's happening with you right now or what's up? And they'll tell you, and you say, okay, what else? And it's usually after you've asked a couple more times, once they feel like they've drained the tank, then they look at you and they say, you know what, I'm really glad we talked.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
No.
I think you're talking from experience.
I am a little bit. I think here's what we should do, though. You and I, because we're both in Toronto, we should take this one step further and make what else the first question. Boom.
Oh,
because everyone will be confused and they'll be like, those two guys are messed up. So you just walk in a room, you say, hey, everybody, what's going on? What else? And then leave.
What else? Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about the other thing, the systems coaching. That's totally new to me.
Right. So me and Ali, both of us are finding ourselves that we are using systems thinking, and the tool that we are using is value stream mapping to realize what part of the system we can make the flow more efficient and more smooth. And we found out that not only the value stream mapping is the tool that you can use, but we build on top of that and the other tools that we are using to get to change people, the process and the behavior. So for example, we are using a 5 why. So for example, when we see something that is taking too long, the first thing that we are going to do is ask 5 whys from the subject matter expert on that part of the process. So those are the techniques. So it's a fancy name for saying that don't just use value stream mapping, but use value stream mapping with these other techniques that can help you relate to people and coach them and deeply help them understand the value stream map at their level so that they can improve that.
You have a lot of these very specialized skills, and I'm thinking you came from your last place before Toronto was BC, right? Weren't you out west?
Right. Yeah.
And you started your career, I think, in the Scrum world, maybe out there, or were you just a developer in BC?
So, like my first job in BC, I was a developer. I was working at SAP, and at SAP they had a lean way of working. So I was exposed to iterations, and at that time there was no talk of Kanban that much, but it was basically a flow of work that we were going through.
Right.
And I was exposed as developer a lot when I was there, but I wasn't until I moved to Toronto that I more unofficially become the Scrum person or a Scrum Master.
I feel like the scene here in Toronto, and that's what I want to get to, the scene in Toronto is just so massive. Right. So I'm wondering what your take is, because you've lived elsewhere. I've always been in Toronto. I'm curious what your take is on the Toronto scene. What's unique about it? What is it about us, our people, our city, that makes this Agile community so great?
I think it was Aziz Ansari or another comedian that was having a stand-up show, and he was talking about, have you seen people that they are living in a very harsh conditions or very cold areas? They are more receptive to jokes and they are more open, right? And the people that are in a very warm areas, they are very laid back, like they're relaxed. And I think that's what contributes to the Toronto community, because they see lots of challenging stuff here compared to BC because of not because of the weather, but because of the landscape of the industries that we have here. So you can see lots of more experienced people here. That's what I found in the Agile environment or
That's
agile space.
You bring up an excellent point that I hadn't thought of, is that we kind of have to fight harder, because if
Right.
a really good innovation happens, they're going to go to Silicon Valley and set up shop there.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I mean, Apple was always rooted down in California long before they had anything in Toronto. So we're always like the second or third in line
Right.
to get the high tech head offices, the innovation centers, the really cool
Yeah.
jams they have going in California.
Right.
We don't have that here. So we have to push harder and fight harder. That's a really great point.
Right. And you know what? Whomever that I knew as a friend or as a colleague that was very talented, Seattle was a 2-hour drive. I knew 2 people that even were living in Vancouver and were working in Seattle. So they were commuting every day
Across the border.
across the border.
It's
So
insane.
it's, yeah.
Wow. So what are some of the community things that you're involved in here?
So I'm one community that I'm really proud of is called Lean Agile Network community. It's 4 years old. I started this with an idea to get together in downtown Toronto at lunchtime. And now we are almost around 2,000 people that part of this Lean Agile Network, and it's still going on. We are having lean coffee sessions every month, and we are having a speaker every month as well. So every other week, we have something going on. And actually tomorrow there is one of them. Tomorrow Shri is going to talk us about business agility.
Nice.
This is something that we didn't have for quite a while, and we try to be as diverse as possible. So we had from Kanban people to talking about how to control your stress and anxiety at work, which was a great one, to Scrum and the Agile principles, leadership, coaching, like many talk. Ask me anything. We had a session with Jason Little that he came up and asked me anything, like anything that you want to ask from Jason. Like people
Great
came and
idea.
asking, yeah.
So you must be very proud of that, because everyone knows about that. Where did you guys, when you did it downtown before all this hit, where did you set it up? Where did you meet?
So we started going to Marche
Right.
for lunch because it was central and everyone had to have lunch, and Marche opened like the opportunity for you get to the lunch that you want, and you didn't need to coordinate. Unfortunately, I heard and I read that Marche has closed off the
have.
downtown. Yeah,
I heard that, and it's in BCE Place in Toronto, which is such a stellar building. It's right down by everything. Right? It's right in the core of
Right.
the financial district, and it was, to me, that was such a landmark.
Right.
Like, if you work downtown, you've been to Marche, and you've been going there for 20 years.
Right.
And so it's a shame that it's gone. So what are you going to do? Now that you've done it virtually, you going to leave it
Right.
virtual?
No, I think when we think things come back to normal. So we were very fortunate that because people saw value in this community, they offered to host it in their locations as well. So it was long, like it was, I guess, a year or 2 years that we didn't have anything at Marche, but we were at Mackenzie and we were at Viofora, two of the good companies that hosted us. Yeah, they were so amazing to provide lunch as well, and people were getting there. Like, we were able to have a very quick networking kind of a session, just listen to someone, and then go back to whatever you were doing. If you were a consultant, you might have your own schedule. If you were a full-timer, you go back to your work. Or even if you are working from home, like we were trying to get people to dial in, but it didn't happen. So I think if things become such a way that we can meet in person, I like to go back to in person, because those small talks and small connections that we are making, those are what I guess we are missing. And there was a rationale behind calling it a network and not a group or a meetup, and that was it. Because sometimes you not really know that you're part of a network, but when you are connected to that, then you figure out I'm using them. So then you become like a LAN connection that you have for your computer is connected to a network. When you need some data, it's going to be transferred through that Ethernet connection that you have. So definitely we go back, if not in a location, we figure it out somehow. Like every time, every challenge that we had such a great community that we get together and we were able to solve that.
Adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
One of the guys in my program, Phil, he was an ex-U.S. Army, and that's his favorite saying. He learned it. I think he said he learned it in high school. Adapt and overcome. That's what we do as Agilists.
Nice.
But I'm interested.
I'm going to use that.
Please do, and I'll tell Phil. I'm interested. How do smart guys like you come up with this stuff? Like, I listened to you talk about, we were going to have a meetup, but we decided to make it more about networking and having events like Ask Me Anything. Like, that's really clever stuff. How did that one come to you?
I guess what I'm good at is at not fearing the failure, and I was so lucky to get exposed to good people in early days of my career that they shaped the way that I'm thinking. So these two combinations end up, I'm going to try this one. And actually the way that I tried this community was that I was trying to build a community inside our organization at that time that I was working, but it wasn't very well received at the lunchtime for Friday. So I was like, we are going to do it outside. So, and that was how it started, kind of ignited that. It didn't stop me from building it inside the organization, but this ignited from that. And if you look at my profile of website, I have so many websites that I just came some idea to my mind. I built that one. I recently built called virtualagilecommunity.com, which is a aggregator of events that's happening virtually, because right now you can go to any event, if it's in Belgrade, if it's in China, if it's in Japan, right, North America, any place you can go there. So the idea was everyone like go there and submit their community events, and all the other people go there and pick what's best for them to choose. And like, I don't know if it's going to pick up or not, but I'm not fearful of saying that I failed at that one, right? And then learn something from it and move on.
Oh, I fail all the time.
Yeah.
I started a little company last year. I was going to completely shift to an area of podcasting that I thought was just a no-brainer. And I did all the planning, and I had a whole bunch of materials built and some assets. And then I realized when I tried to sell it to somebody or show it to somebody, they had that look in their face like, and then what? You talk about a powerful question, and I just realized it's a bad idea, and I had to let it go. But I'm super comfortable with that. And I think that's unique to Agile people, because you just described it best when you said that you try to bring it to your company, and they're like, slow down. And it's only after you prove it in the field that they're like, okay, maybe we'll take one of those.
Right.
Let me ask you this. What do you think is, and then this is a tough one. This is a powerful question. This is like coming in and saying what else is right out of the gate. What do you think we as Toronto Agilists, as leaders on the world stage in Agile, what do you think we should be doing to prepare for, open quote, what comes next, close quote, in Agile?
Yeah. So see, you mentioned it's a powerful question. I had to wait and think about it. So
please do. And I'm going to active listen the whole way.
Right. So what I can say, what I say generally for the Toronto community, and I guess that can be applied to the Canadian community, is that we need to be more active in exposing and market what we are doing and what great things we are doing. I think our culture is that compared to other culture, we are very nice people, and we because of that we might be very shy, not compared to other parts of the world that they are talking a lot. And I don't remember the name of the person, but world needs more Canada. That's what basically it. I think and in these terms, we are so geographically distant from each other, right? That we already were having those kind of challenges in our country.
Yeah.
So if we have something to offer, this is the time, and I encourage everyone to step up and don't be shy. Like, if your idea doesn't catch on, it doesn't matter. Like, you move on to the next one, right? But if it catch on, that would be amazing, right? So I know there are lots of great people in our community, and there are lots of great things that are happening. We need to be more supportive of each other, and be able to help each other spread the news around what's going on and what's happening, and what awesomeness can we bring to the world after this pandemic.
So the word I heard you say there really was leap. You have something.
Yeah.
You have something to offer. You have something to do. Let's get it done. Let's do it.
Right. Yeah.
How can we help you out?
So I like you guys listening to think about the small A agile. I don't want you to be sold on the big A agile and the marketing scheme, not the scheme, marketing of it, to get certification here, there, to get certification on scaling, to get certification on different methodologies, whatever, right? I want you to go back to the basics and realize that this Agile Manifesto, or correctly saying Manifesto for Agile Software Development, was written in 2001, and in the next year would be 20 years that has been passed of
That's
this
right.
manifesto, right? So things have changed. So learn the basics, understand what this is coming from. Still the principles and the values applies, but don't, every time that you're doing something, you're thinking about something, go back to the principles and values and ask yourself, are they aligned with that? And they might not be, but most of the cases, you can find ways to make it align, and you would be the small A agile person in the organization, and not the big one, big A agile that sells tools and sells
Right.
frameworks and sells certifications. I'm
Right.
not saying that those are not valuable, but I'm just saying that we need more of these people to be able to elevate the agile to the next level, and agility to the next level.
Right. So I'm smiling as you're saying that, just because we're talking about fundamentals. We're talking about
Right.
keeping it simple, strip things back to their
Right.
core essence, their essentials, right?
Yeah.
Now, you're originally from Iran.
Yeah, true.
So if you were going to teach me a recipe or a signature dish that you or your family make, what are the key ingredients in Iranian food?
So the key ingredients in Iranian food is typically a stew and a rice, and typically in a stew you would find some sort of a chicken or a meat. So it's typically like that. If you don't find a stew, there is a very famous recipe or very famous dish called chelo kebab, which means rice and minced meat. So that's something that if you haven't had that chelo kebab, I suggest you, nowadays you can't go to places, use one of these delivery services or go and do a pickup and try that one. And if someone wants some suggestions, or if you're in Toronto, just shoot me an email and I can tell you where to go. Yeah.
And so there are places in Toronto that do it well. Which is your favorite?
So there is one that is my favorite for chelo kebab. It's called Shater Abbas. It's there are 3 different locations in Toronto. So there is one of them in North. There are 2 of them in North York. One in Richmond Hill. One is close to Yonge and Sheppard, and one in downtown in. I don't exactly know the name of the place, but it's close to the Ontario Lake.
Right.
Yeah.
If your agile friends from BC or from anywhere in the world were to come and visit you for one, let's say they came to one of your networking events and they came
Right.
from out of town and they've never been here before, what are 3 things you would take them to do in Toronto?
It depends on the person that is coming, because most of the people that I know in Vancouver, and maybe it's talk to the Vancouver population or demographics, would be that they are very outdoorsy people. So I would imagine that
Right.
some of them want to do hikes and all that. So,
Right.
but if it's a typical person that is a typical tourist that coming to Toronto, no, no, I'm not a typical tourist. You ask about a BC. So I show them TTC and how crazy it might get. Again, if we get back to that normal scenes of going to TTC in the jam-packed versions in the mornings.
I
Um,
can't wait.
yeah, yeah. I show them definitely the path, because that's something that there's nothing such in Vancouver.
Right.
And what else I would show? And I would maybe we do a walk on King Street and Queen Street for kind of like a night walk.
Yeah.
To do kind of a scene there are very good restaurant and good places there.
Oh, the best. The
Yeah.
best. Yeah. I would give him a Badass Agile t-shirt too while you're at it.
Yeah, yeah.
What's coming up next for you?
So what else is going on is I'm trying to focus my energy on what I like basically kind of talk to you when you ask me what do you tell other people. I find myself that I'm doing lots of things on different areas and different paths. I'm doing a VIP on myself, put a limit on my VIP limit, and I'm trying to focus on my goal that I had about these are the transformation. It's not about becoming a Scrum or becoming Agile. It's becoming better at what we do. And that was kind of the idea behind my company's name, Elevate Change. So I want to elevate whatever change it is that you are in, you might know or you don't know. So that's what I'm trying to focus all my energy, like everything that I do. And I started a program called Elevate to Coach program. It was successful. Again, it was a test that I did, experiment that I did. I got good clients and they were very successful about it. And I want to see if I can expand that and scale that one up. And that's one of the reasons that I am eliminating all of the extra things that I'm doing around.
So you're laser focusing. So elevate coaching, did you call it?
So Elevate to Coach.
Elevate to Coach. And then the Lean Agile Network. And
Right.
what are the websites? Where do you want people to find you?
People can find me on. I have a personal blog as well, blog.sheidaei.com. My email address would be shahin@sheidaei.com. And I started my company's website 2 years ago, but I'm updating that. It's called elevatechange.co.
Right on.
So if you go there, don't be disappointed. Give me some feedback. I appreciate that.
Excellent. We will. You ever do a retrospective on yourself? Or get someone in your family to do one?
Right. I feel like I constantly getting retrospective from your family, and it's
Good one.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, it's terrifying. It's terrifying for both you and the person who's trying to give you the feedback. It's terrifying.
Yeah, true.
But listen, my friend, we have to do something soon. Let's get together and as soon as this thing lifts, let's find something to work on together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's
I
been a
very
long
much
time.
I enjoy your style very much, and I would love to have a chance to sit down again with you soon. Thank you for coming on and sharing coffee with me and all my friends. I appreciate it.
Yeah, same here. Thanks
Great to
for
see you,
having
Sean.
me.
You bet.
Yeah,
Talk to you
thank
soon.
you. Bye.
So what did you think? He's the man, isn't he? You can find him at worldwideweb.elevatechange.co. But you can also connect through the Lean Agile Network website, the Virtual Agile Community website, or LinkedIn and Twitter. Everything you need is in the show notes. Reach out, connect, converse. As for me, you know where to find me, worldwideweb.badassagile.com. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for being part of the community. I'll catch up with you next time.